last Sunday, the Asantehene celebrated the Akwasi Day. In fact, the Akwasi Day is celebrated every 40 days. It is the 40th Sunday it is celebrated.
Every 40 days?
Every 40 days.
On a Sunday? Always on a Sunday?
Always on a Sunday. That's why the name
Akwasi
Day. And then we have Wuku Day. These two, the very sacred days in Ashanti. And when it happens, the Asantehene invites lots of guests. And then you also see them in an assembly of chiefs, royals in pomp and all majesty. It showcases the beauty of our culture. And then also it's an opportunity to invite people from other ethnic groups and even beyond the country. Now we have to know the man who made it all happen. Now, when you read C.E. Wellman's book, A Short History of the Gold Coast, he says that, written in 1935, he says that Okomfo Anokye was one of the greatest Africans who ever lived. You know, when we talk about great Africans, most often than not, we start from maybe the 20th century and forget others. And then also we place modern day pastors over and above those who were our religious leaders before Christianity was introduced. But we shouldn't ever forget that the African has always known God. There were word Mau, then the Akan word Nyame. I don't think they were introduced by the white people. Now, Okomfo Anokye was born in about 1655. And then it is said he died around 1717. Not correct record, but that is the historical estimation. And this man benefits from a triple background. The first one is that he was an Akwapim man. A short while ago, Doctor was talking about culture and tradition. That is what gives you identity. Among the Akans, the Akwapim ethnic group is the one reputed to be full of proverbs, the custodian of all the valuable institutions, our culture, our traditions, everything with the Akwapim people. And in fact, when you pour libation, and it is in the Akwapim language, we believe that it goes to the gods faster. Even now, the pastors, when they preach and it is in the Akwapim language, it enters the soul more. No doubt about that. I'm talking about the Akan people. You know, Okomfo Anokye benefited from all these institutions as an Akwapim. Then, as a fetish priest, he worked largely among the Denkyira people and identified the fact that Denkyira was the hegemony that ruled the entire Akan land within the Pra-Ofen Basin. And so Asante was under Denkyira, Adanse, Sefi, Achem, then Wasa, Chifo, Asen, they were under Denkyira. He saw this from them and also saw the flourishing trade between Denkyira and the Dutch and the English traders along the coast. He also saw that the Denkyira people had the Elmina Castle notes, which was giving them a lot of income every year. They were selling slaves, they were selling gold, and then above, the west of it, the negative side, was the excruciating tax they were exacting from the vassal states. Okomfo Anokye worked there, he saw it. Then the last of it was the fact that when he left Denkyira to settle in Akwapim, Akwapim was at that time under Akwamu, so he was influenced by Akwamu culture. And among the Akans, it was the Akwamu people who knew, as at the time, the modern military formation. In fact, when Akans went to war, before Akwamu came in, it was a free-for-all fight. It was the Akwamu people who introduced the system of Reke, recognizance.
Yes, go and check out what's happening.
Very good. That was the Trafo people. They had the Benkum Nifa.
Right wing.
Very good. Then they had the advance Adontain. Then we have the rear guard. Then we have the Jase. Those you leave behind to take care of the aged women, children, and our property. You know, Okomfo Anokye knew this. So when Osei Tutu joined him from his escape in Denchira, and then they were together in the Akwamu, when Osei Tutu heard that his uncle, Obri Yabua, had died, you know, he had to go to ascend the stool. Based on the advice of Okomfo Anokye, he took a huge army from Enum.
Dr. Yao, Eric Odrosai and Mr. Yao Anokye Frimpong. Mr. Anokye Frimpong was giving us some historical background to Akwesi Day and talking about the person who instituted this festival that happens every 40 days in the Ashanti Kingdom. And you talked to us about his triple heritage of being somebody from Ikuapem and then Denchira, and then what was the third bit of his history that you wanted to tell us, to link us to Akwesi Day?
I was saying that he advised Osei Tutu to move with a huge army, you know, and the leader of the army was called Enum Asamoah. Largely they were from the Enum area, but Enum at that time was under Akwapim. So when you say Enum, it was, under Akwamu. So when you say Enum or Akwamu, there was actually no difference. What was important was that militarily they were more advanced than where they were going, the Ashanti people. They were far advanced than the Ashantis. Then when they got there, they were settled at a place called Enum. So they used to say Enum, Enum, Enum. Now it's corrected to be called Edum in Kumasi. That's where the Akwamu people settled under their leader, Enum Asamoah. And Okomfo Anokye made sure that the Akwamus would not control themselves because technologically they were higher than this. So they had to come under an Ashanti king so that it would avoid rebellion. And that leader was the Asafohene. So the Asafohene now becomes Akwamuhene of Ashanti because he will head the Akwamu people. Now a bigger stool was created, the Bantama stool, which would head all those from the north, all those from the north, and that would be the commander-in-chief. The Bantama will be the commander-in-chief of the Ashanti army. So based on the advice of Okomfo Anokye, for the first time in the history of the Akans, we had a standing army. The Ashantis had a standing army. So war this time did not become like a part-time thing. You know, some people are invading us.
We have professional soldiers.
Now we have professional soldiers. One controlling all the Akan groups, and the other one controlling the groups from the north. Asafo, that is Akwamu, also called still Akwamu, and then Bantama called Kronti, which was the two divisions, one field commander and the other immediate deputy. Having done this, Ashanti became secured. But at that time, the name was not Ashanti. It was Okomfo Anokye who advised that their name Amansia is the beginning of nations, should be changed to Asante. Asante means because of war, not because we want to war, we want to go to war, but because we have to prepare ourselves
for any
very good so that nobody would enslave us. And so the original states of Ashanti, like Kokofu, Esumenya, Bekwai, Kwamai, Mampong, Ofenso, Dwaben, and Ejiso came together. At first, they were equal. At first, they were equal. Now, Okomfo Anokye gave another advice that if all of you are equal, then it will be easier for anybody to break away. So you have to get one of you who will be your leader. And he appointed one Friday that everybody should come. And the gods are going to make a selection. Among all your black stools you are bringing, one will be chosen.
Like a conclave.
Yes.
Yes.
One will be chosen to head all of you. So happily, excitedly, they sent their black stools. And you know that among the Akans, the black stool is always very sacred, as if like God, they worship the black stool. So he brought all the black stools. Okomfo Anokye told them that the gods say, this pit I have dug here, everybody should dump the black stool in, and something very miraculous is going to happen. They did it because they were all thinking one of us, or at least me, I will be the leader. He said that God said we should cover everything. And then by the advent, we say the miraculous advent of the golden stool, Okomfo Anokye told them something very psychological, military, and at the same time spiritual, and then of pride. The first one was that, having given them the golden stool, he made them to understand that maybe your stool came first. Maybe you came through conquest. Maybe you thought you were a slave. Today, all your stools are buried. And above all, it's only one stool. No more a wooden stool. A golden stool from the gods, which must stand for your pride, and the one that you would have to protect and preserve in order that all of you would also be protected and preserved. Above all, we are told that the stool landed on the laps of Osei Tutu. And so this man becomes your leader. But that he also serves the golden stool. Exactly. So he's your leader, as not the one who gives you instructions, tells you what to do. No. But it is just the head of confederacy, because he is closer to the golden stool than you. And he cannot even sit on the golden stool. So from that moment, Ashantis began to have a new sense of pride that we have something to fight for. Not wood, not made of wood, but of gold. So when you are dying, let's say you die, you know you have died for something precious. Like a Christian who wants to go to heaven. He dies for something precious and not material. And so it gave them that sense of pride. So with that, they have had a new state called Asante. They have got a new king, Osei Tutu, and they have got a new stool. And now everybody is serving the stool and not the one who occupies it, because even he himself cannot sit on it. If you go to Achimebuakwa, those from the royal house are called Odishie. So when they are calling your name, they add Odishie, maybe Odishie Ata Achia. When you go to Ashanti, Okomfo Anokye told them that the moment you refer to somebody as Odishie, it means another person is a slave. So nobody is Odishie in Ashanti. Once he comes from this family, you say Ofri Efieho. And then all others, Enuanum.
So comes from this house and we are all brothers.
You are brothers. And so once you are an Ewe man, you are the Gomba man, whatever, you belong to the new Asante. For as long as we come together to fight to protect ourselves. So with that, the next target, as Okomfo Anokye made the Ashantis to know, was the kingdom that was maltreating and mistreating the most, Denchira. And because you already have this superior technology from the Akwemu, and then with the united Asante, it was easier to defeat the Denchira people. After defeating the Denchira, the vassal states of Denchira, such as Wasa, Sefi, Twifo, Asen, Adanse, and then they themselves, Asante, forming the Pra-Ofin Basin, came together all to form Asante, not because they wanted to be under the Asante, but they had to be under the golden stool. And then also Asante has no power to exact tax from anybody. So with that, forming part of the new kingdom was so easy. And then as Okomfo Anokye also made them to know that whenever you conquer somebody and bring him under the kingdom, allow him to protect his institutions, to preserve the institution, never to destroy them. And if it can ensure that they become part
of the kingdom.
Of the kingdom, like the English language, which is always growing, and French language is very static, So that is how Ashanti started growing, to the extent that at the time of Opokuwari, Ashanti has extended to an area 3 times the size of modern-day Ghana, based on what Okomfo Anokye did. Okomfo Anokye also gave them a sense of belonging. And what do I mean by that? They needed to have a festival, like the Akwesi Day. They also needed to have the Ojira festival, which would always bring the people together. So if you are talking about Okomfo Anokye, he did so great for the people, giving them a state, giving them a capital, and I said it. I'm sorry, I'm here to say that he discovered that if they were to go back to the former capital, Kwamai, nobody from Ejiso or Jabe or Mampong would be interested there. So he gave them a neutral capital, planting 2 Kuma trees, and then the one in Kumasi grew. And you see that strategically, it is in the middle of Ashanti, very, very accessible to all Ashantis. This is what he did for them and allowed Ashanti to flourish a lot. And this is a man agreeing with C.E. Wellman, was arguably one of the greatest Africans who ever lived. And we have named the Okomfo Anokye Teaching Hospital after him quite befittingly. Thank you.